welcome to the Talon Outdoors Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm JD.
And I'm Grant.
I'm Fred.
I'm Captain Paul Tire.
There you go. Everybody's got microphones. Everybody's got headphones. We had to do some a studio enhancement here during the holidays because we never know how many people are going to have in here. And anyway, even Grant has a microphone sitting over there instead of having to loan his to Paul every.
That's right, and I get to.
So we are folks here at the Talon Outdoors Show in the Talon studio.
We would never fly by the seat of our pants. Everything is greatly planned out and carefully orchestrated.
Fred, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to. I want to be able to see my face on it.
Nobody else wants to.
Hit the booster thing on his seat. And
if I do that, he'll go straight to the floor. He'll move a whole half inch. Oh man, I'll tell you what, has everybody had when we had our Christmas show the other day, we didn't talk about Christmas until the very end, and JD remembered to say Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, because it was 5 days before Christmas when we recorded the show, and it was kind of like.
So now it's post-Christmas coming up on
Hope
New
y'all
Year.
had a merry one.
Yeah, so how did your Christmas go?
I was sick as a dog.
Oh. Okay, well, that's enough of that. I don't want to know the details.
Yeah,
I already do.
I was running a fever and felt bad for all day Christmas Eve night and all day Christmas Day. And
I
slept a lot and woke up the next morning and I'm like, feel pretty good today. I didn't come into work because I didn't want to bring whatever I had. Just I don't know, crud, coughing.
Well, same thing happened to me.
It's the stuff he had, then he got rid of and he gave it to me in the studio one day. I went home with it, and then he got it back, and I got it back.
So I didn't come in last week because I was sick. And
you're what gave it to me.
No, I didn't have it. I didn't come in.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I talked to you on the phone though. That might have been it.
You never know. I mean, you could do that. But,
he's got little germs, so they go right through the phone lines.
So, I was feeling bad. The wife was feeling bad. Then the son started feeling bad. Then the wife told me to go get a COVID test, and I got a COVID test. Sure enough, I was positive for COVID. Everybody in the house positive for COVID.
Really?
Kids came over, and we wouldn't let them in the house till they took a COVID test, and they were positive for COVID. We just sat around and had COVID Christmas and Chinese takeout.
I'm pretty sure that's what I had or got or whatever. I don't know, whatever. It is what it is anymore. It's cold.
It's gone now. So
I mean, it's not as bad as it was. They said as the virus progressed and new variations came out, it would get weaker and weaker and weaker, and turn into basically the common cold.
Well, I think that's I never got it before. This is the first time I ever had it, and I really thought I had tiger blood, and it. Apparently I didn't. I mean, must be like house cat blood.
I had it when it was at its absolute worst in the pandemic. I caught it and was sick for about a day and a half. Lost my sense of taste and smell and stayed away from everybody. And the 2 days after I got it, I laid 4 pallets of sod in my backyard. I had sod delivered to the house, and I put out 4 pallets of sod 2 days after getting COVID. I just wasn't sick. Yeah. I mean, just.
So when you mow your grass, do you get COVID now?
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it.
All right. Just wondering.
You never know. I mean, it is COVID infected grass.
Yeah. It could happen.
I don't know. You and your tiger blood. Was that?
Put some bleach on the grass.
You had that meow or before?
What, the tiger blood?
Yeah.
I've had it for a while. Charlie Sheen was selling it.
You're not sick right now, are you?
No. I talked to Charlie Sheen. He gave me some tiger blood, and I'm good.
Okay, cool.
You didn't catch?
Huh?
Oh man!
You didn't catch any of that meow, did you?
Fred would be fun on a traffic stop.
You ever see the movie? Was it Super Troopers? Was that?
No.
Meow, you got to go watch it.
I mean, usually when I get stopped, I just start speaking Spanish and then leave me alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, in the movie, they 2 cops are pulling cars over and they're seeing how many times.
I don't know that we should tell him the joke.
Okay. You have to go figure it out for yourself.
You got to go
see the movie.
Super Duper Troopers?
Super Troopers.
Super Troop. Okay. Has it got The Rock in it?
And that's not something you get in the men's room for 50 cents either. That's a movie you got to go watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, just call it that one.
I just know where your brain goes. I know where your brain goes. So Look at these cookies on the table.
Look at that. They look good.
Pretty swanky.
They do.
I'm having to look at them through the cellophane, and it's they're calling my name.
Yeah, I don't want to take the plastic off because
Mrs. Grant was so nice.
Oh yeah,
You got some fudge in there too, buddy.
Well, that is a cute baby.
That is a cute.
Thank
Look
you.
at you.
Thank
Look
you.
at you.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you. She's my little sweet pea.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring her out here.
Yeah,
well, too,
don't corrupt her. Bring her out here. I tell you. Well, anyway.
How was your Christmas, Charlie?
My Christmas was fantastic. I got the whole. We went to my cousin Scarlett's where Uncle Herman's at. And we did that thing with the family. You know what? We got to having some conversations over there about family. And let's see, when does this show air? Yeah, I can talk about it because my brother probably doesn't listen to the show. So the gift from my mom this year was the old reel-to-reel tapes that we had from my grandfather, my papa, Tony Primavera. He was served at the air base over there. Anyway, and then all the way up through the family's Christmases and stuff over at the Primavera household, and then like my parents' wedding, rehearsal dinner and wedding, all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
All the way up. And then another generation later, when my mom and dad had a camera, when they were still together, we were living in town, and just stuff out on the farm when Daddy was just getting into farming and all. And anyway, she took all those tapes and she had them converted to a DVD.
Yep.
And they are over there on the table. I'm going to convert them to the more modern version of that, which is they're going to go on
hard drive.
They're going to go onto the NAS onto a hard drive in a special folder, and then I'm going to go in there and re-edit them from the way they were edited because she didn't like the music and they're out of order a little bit from where she got them from. Which I did a good job converting it, but now I need to bring her. I want to bring her in the studio. Mom, when you listen to this is your next task. Come in the studio and we're going to sit in here and we're going to parcel it up into pieces and we're going to put them in chronological order and put some more appropriate music with it. And
should be like an episode of This Is Your Life.
And I want her to narrate part of it and explain who these for my kids and grandkids.
That'd be awesome.
So to me, that's important now that we've got this piece of history. And she said, "Son, you need to watch this by yourself the first time." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And I watched.
You needed to watch it by yourself, didn't you?
As a little baby, when I'm running around with my cousins, Shane and Ryder, and all that. I mean, that was cool. And seeing Daddy when he was 22, 23 years old. Mama was pretty sharp looking back in the day. Now she looked good back then. And for 70 something, she's pretty good looking now. But I mean, we all change. I mean, I look at me, and I was just a goofy kid. I mean,
you had hair.
I had a lot of hair, and I was awkward, and so then go forward to when we were growing up.
Don't do it.
And stop. And when I was, 10, 11 years old, my little brother, I'm watching my little brother. I used to tell stories about my little brother hulking out. He'd run around. Incredible Hulk was big back then. He'd get up there and he'd and do his muscles. They got that on tape, and I got to see that. And little brother, I would probably never show that on the show, but about 3 or 4 times. I might put it in the opening credits. And just seeing that stuff. But what got me was my daddy's dog, Wilbur. The dog, we talk about our dogs.
Yep.
And Brittany Spaniel, Wilbur, that just popped up on the screen. And, dude, my eyes just filled up with tears. And it wasn't all the kid stuff. I mean, because, that's there. But dogs just do that. And the Wilbur, and then I got a little shot of Little Bit. Little Bit was a little lemon-colored Brittany. He was a liver-colored Brittany. And, man, he reminds me, even though he's a Brittany, just so much
the behaviors
of Lily sitting over there right now. And man, that was awesome.
My mom had the same thing done years ago with some of her home movie stuff, and there is video of me playing with a litter of puppies, bird dog, English pointers. My granddaddy had the same bloodline of English pointers from somewhere in the middle of World War II to the last dog passed away in the mid-'80s. Right. So he kept from the 40s to the 80s, kept the same bloodline of bird dog. And there's a litter of Dan and Gypsy puppies. And me playing with them, 8 little bird dog puppies, and me just probably a toddler. And that's just cool to have that stuff captured, man. It's cool to go back and look at it.
Amazed me what I remembered. I'm sitting there looking at Christmas at Papa Tony's, and man, I remember that carpet. I remember that TV. We'll be back in just a minute.
Yeah.
back. So when we left, we was talking about old family movies. So here's what I saw that I thought was amazing. That just now I got to see my grandma and my papa Strickland on that side in their living room at Christmas, and I guess the cameras come out at special events. And I look in the camera, and there's my daddy sitting there with his long sideburns, old pork chop sideburns going on over there, and clear glasses, which back, then later in life, he never wore clear glasses, always dark glasses. He got an eye injury in Vietnam and didn't like bright lights. And so I'm looking, and there's the TV's on, color TV on in the background. And it's not the one that is on top, it's the bottom one. It's the furniture TV.
The furniture TV that
working.
has the working TV. Oh, the
it was working. The furniture TV was working. And then it was the littler TV that got stuck on top with the rabbit ears and the aluminum foil. I remember adjusting that later on, but the regular TV worked, and I'm like, "Holy cow, the TV works!"
Yeah.
And my wife said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "No, that one,
the
that
big
one works." I don't remember that
the
one.
big
ever
fancy
working.
one.
Yeah,
the big fancy looking one with the big console built around. Oh yeah, my grandparents had one of those.
Sitting on shag carpet or.
No, that was at my parents' house. That
What
was
were people
down in
thinking
that was
with
in
that
the
stuff?
den, the sunken den down there.
Yeah,
and it was red. And the thing is the wallpaper is what gets me, because in my bedroom, and I don't remember it, but in my bedroom there was this red, white, and blue striped with stars, patriotic. It was in the 70s, coming up on the bicentennial. So the wallpaper was this.
My parents' house in 76. I was 8 years old. The whole house was decorated in 1776.
Oh, yeah.
Early American, everything. I go back and look at it in pictures and stuff, and you see all this. The eagle holding the, this big eagle thing, gold eagle up on the fireplace mantle holding the stuff, and it was.
We had a Paul Revere lamp where he's standing out there and he holding his. Right up
you had a leg with a stocking on it, Lance. Probably what you.
I do have one.
Was it Fragile?
I bet you do.
It's an award.
Made in Italy.
It was Fragile. And Fragile. No, I found it. I actually found it Christmas Eve. I was digging around trying to put a rug down or something.
To get out of the neighbor's dumpster.
And there was that. Sure enough, there was a leg lamp with the fishnet stockings on it, and I got it in the living room right now. We're all gathering around.
Yes, you do.
Singing Merry Christmas to it. And
he's hung little balls up there so he feels little Christmas with little red.
Christmas balls?
Yeah, Christmas balls.
Oh, I've got it right there in the window so the neighbors can see.
You know the words of that song?
What, Christmas balls?
Yeah.
Should
Is
I?
that appropriate?
No, probably not. But, they play it on the radio sometime.
They do?
Yeah.
We can't do it on this show.
No, we're not going to do it on. I'm just making sure you know the words in case we need to do that.
We need to start running everything by Paul first and going, okay, is this Christian friendly? Is this family friendly? Paul, can we do this in public? And then he can be our conscience.
Well, I can't think of what is it?
First thing you do, run Fred out of the studio.
Yeah, Fred, you can't be around good.
Probably like the vibe Fred puts off is just creepy. I can't deal with it.
I think this COVID may have affected.
You're bringing
my memory.
calendars in here from South Dakota. Did you? That's the 2023.
That's the 23. That's the one I bought at the convenience store. And I'm just.
Did they have it behind the counter with like cardboard squares?
Yeah, they
over
did.
I
mean, I had to show my ID to get it. And I had it hanging up in the bedroom. My wife finally told me to bring it in here. So, yeah, it's the Wild Girls of South Dakota.
Yeah, you're going to have to go to YouTube to see this.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
It's Miss January.
There you go.
I tried to get her to autograph it.
It's tastefully done, if you call those kinds of tattoos tasteful.
I was going to say, how do you – that's what I'm wondering. I mean,
It's just women in bikinis in South Dakota. The full 6 months a year they get to do that.
But they put that tattoo on that girl, and that guy had
and that's enough of that right there.
I just don't know how he did it without getting slightly embarrassed. What?
Charlie said stop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm just saying.
Sammy's sitting over there on the couch listening to all this, and he's turning red. It's time for you to stop.
I mean,
Sammy's going, and I sponsor this show.
Well, if you notice, that strap is crooked.
Fred,
that's enough. That's enough. Sammy, Fred is actually allegedly a reputable citizen of our community. He's an esquire. I don't know what that means.
Actually, the literal meaning of the word is young man.
young man?
Yeah, so it comes from the old days in ancient England when, in order to be a barrister, you had to apprentice under a squire, and then you became the esquire, the young man, and then when the squire deemed that you were ready, in other words, he's going to have to pay you more, but he deemed you were ready, you could pass the bar in the courtroom.
In the courtroom, yeah.
And
the bar is actually a physical barrier. It's a bar.
And so once you were a squire, you could go past that bar. That's why we call it passing the bar exam. So that's what that means.
So,
Sammy, you want a microphone?
I tell you, having the opportunity to be here with these gentlemen today is just overwhelming feeling for myself. But having the English background of attorney and the esquire under Fred Conrad is overwhelming. But don't ever let him get in your garden and pick watermelons or squash or anything else.
Or cantaloupe.
Because what's not ready, Fred will pick and tell you why it's ready. So I've enjoyed listening to the overall explanation of an attorney. And going to South Dakota, which I've had the opportunity to do in the past with Charlie and JD and ride snowmobiles and things like that, I could only imagine what that would look like with Fred bringing calendars back to Tallahassee. And I tell you, in South Dakota, I'm not sure if they have true 6 months of bikini weather. But I will stop there because this is a Christian show and good people. But we love Fred Conrad. And Fred, I would enjoy a further explanation of anything you could come up with historically.
Well, the garden
Be
that he
careful.
has is
what you ask for.
See, Sammy's garden is actually located on my family's property. My grandparents got,
Which I own now.
which he now owns, but that doesn't mean he owns everything that comes out of the ground. So
was he
Folks,
poaching?
You can't make this
Was he
stuff up.
poaching in your garden? Was he poaching in your garden?
With his brother. And his brother was so disappointed he didn't know what to do.
So they poached in your garden and got unripe vegetables and fruit.
no, they were ripe.
No, they weren't. We cut them open.
By the time I got them home, they were.
Every place I've been to, when you cut a watermelon open,
It's supposed to be red, not
correct,
green.
not green, and it looked more like a honeydew.
I thought that's what it was.
But you
It
know
tasted
what?
good, I can tell you.
According to our fine esquire here, they were ripe. So
I mean,
all's good.
Well, it's all a matter of perspective. See, we've learned that from Fred in the legal realm of things. There is a explanation, or at least a truckload of bull stuff that you can throw around long enough that it sounds good to somebody.
Fred's the one that Fred's the one that climbs the grapefruit tree outside of Jefferson County Courthouse with a hatchet and gets grapefruits because they're on public property.
They belong to the people, and you can't make that up.
You can't make it up.
But it happened because the fruit was here.
Yeah,
we
he
saw
brought
it.
it.
I got that fruit.
The only person I wish was here with us right now to have this conversation is a young man who has a phenomenal landscaping business and opportunity for anybody that needs it, is Spence Conrad.
Yeah, we don't bring him in the house at Christmas time. And, you know, every family's got one of those. He's ours.
Just real quick, everybody that's
And you
listening.
think of me. I mean, you know, compared to me to him.
Explain who Sammy is.
Sammy Dixon, standing right here, is a dear friend of Charlie and I, and he is the CEO, is that right? CEO of Prime Meridian Bank here in Tallahassee and in Wakulla County and in Lakeland?
Lakeland, Florida.
Yep, so Lakeland, Florida. So Sammy is our banker. He is our dear friend, and he happened to be here. I'm not going to say what he was doing at the gun store today, but if Kim happens to listen. So
Very true.
He was picking up a pair of socks. So at least that's what the receipt's going to say. But Sammy stopped by to visit, and we're happy to have him here on the show. And you have to come back sometime. You sound a lot like a Southern preacher when you talk
I don't know
on the
about that,
your
but
cadence.
Let me say this: if anybody out there is looking for an opportunity to learn a little bit about a gun or shooting or anything like that, JD and Charlie can take care of you better than anybody you've ever met. And what they do is unbelievable. And if you've got a wife or kids that want to learn how to shoot, bring them out here. And we are honored to be a part of this and be a part of them. But I got to go back to, don't ever let Fred Conrad in your garden.
You might want to be careful about letting Fred Conrad in your house.
You just better be glad I didn't come over there with some of the seeds from my neighbor's operation. It'd be like that.
Man, you could sabotage the heck out of somebody like that. You know
get
that?
swatted, you know.
Well, that man's growing. That man's got a nice crop of okra up there. I'm wondering when the okra's going to show up.
He got weed. Oh, I didn't think about that, man. You just, I wouldn't even know where to get the seeds. But if you knew if you wanted to show up,
a few clients that might be able to hook you up.
If you wanted to get somebody, you could go get. Like, man, this old ragweed. I'm having a heck of a time keeping it out of my garden. It keeps sprouting up.
My neighbor keeps forgetting my name. Short-term memory's just gone.
Good Lord. You have issues with liquor going missing and all kinds of stuff going up there amongst your neighborhood. Your neighborhood must not be very safe.
It's not.
I mean,
you live there. So there you go.
I mean, I got him shooting a deer out of my backyard and
nice. You get one?
Taking my liquor. Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever comes over, he shoots it to eat them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we had an alligator come across there.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, alligators, deer. I mean, whatever comes, if it's edible, he's gonna shoot it.
We'll be back in just a minute. We're back. Sammy, I think my dog is liking you over there. She is eyeballing you like she does me. She's got that expectation of somebody petting her.
He probably still smells like all the quail we killed yesterday.
How did y'all do? No, we're going to talk about fishing in a minute, but we went fishing. JD went
I went quail hunting with Sammy and Stuart yesterday, and
still had a good day here in the store.
Oh yeah, I worked till 12:45 yesterday, and then we left. And
okay, so that was all in the first half.
Yes, sir. I sold all of the retail sales from yesterday. I was
before you left.
Yes, it happened before I left. And
hey, Matt, run the numbers.
I promise you, I had to throw my hands up and run out the door, and I'm going to be late. So
I didn't think he was going to get to come in here and do the show a little while ago because it was.
I know, but anyway, I came home with 51 birds yesterday.
That's not bad.
They were generous enough to give me all the birds that we killed yesterday.
That's because they didn't want to clean them.
And I stopped by the house. I stopped by Mama's house. My Aunt Mel and Uncle Jerry are down from Dothan visiting Mama for over Christmas, and they down here. And I called Mama on the way home from Sammy's house last night, and I said, if you could think of one thing that Aunt Mel and Uncle Jerry would like for supper tomorrow night while they're here in town, what do you think that would be? And she said, well, Mel says she hadn't had no quail in a while, and I don't have any in the freezer. And I said, I'm fixing to make Aunt Mel and Uncle Jerry happy. I walked in the door, and I peeled them off about 10 or 12 of them birds and said, here you go. And I might ride by the house and see if I smell something tonight right around supper time. Because I ain't sure they can eat all them big old birds. There was a big old quail, too. They were big birds.
Yeah.
And
I have had to get more efficient recently. Cleaning. I had to remember how to clean fish last night. It's been a while, and but quail. I got me some scissors down by now. At my stainless steel table down in the shed, I got me some scissors stuck up there on the magnet. Some of that ones you're supposed to use.
The Fiskars brand.
Yeah, Fiskars. Yep.
Poultry shears are awesome. That's what I use.
It's either Fiskars or Gerber, one or the other.
Same company.
Yeah, it's the same. And man, those things make it so much easier.
Those poultry shears and quail, you just grab the peel skin comes off right quick like, and you take those poultry scissors and go toot, 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 and wash him out, and you're done.
Yeah, see, I like to debone mine.
So you one of them fancy fellas that takes the meat off the breast and the delicate little. See, we're Southern. We take that bird, we wash the guts out, flop him around in some flour, and throw him over there in some grease.
No. So you got to debone him out, and then you got to put a little bit of jalapeno and a special marinade, and then you know.
No, brother.
Fred, I thought you were from Tallahassee. One of the greatest things you could do was get the legs and fry them up separately.
Oh, yeah.
Leave a little bit of liver in between the, yes, sir.
Well, I don't know about the liver, but
I do.
Hey,
but I mean, Fred, that's what I mean. You go back to some of the old bankers here in town, Bill Pomeroy and stuff like that. They'd cut them legs off and they'd fry those as appetizers.
Yes,
that's
sir.
What we do.
But you're going to do it all fancy style, like
you keep the legs after you debone him.
Okay.
So you debone the breast, then you wrap the breast and put a little jalapeno cream cheese. Put it in bacon, put it on the grill.
Do you still taste the quail when you do all that?
Yeah, you taste the quail. It's good.
Okay.
Trust me on that.
That just sounds like messing up some quail to me.
I just want mine fried.
All right, so what we're going to do?
I just want them fried.
Peanut oil.
To me, peanut oil and one of the. We got the big the 2-sided basket, 4 gallon
Cajun cooker.
Cajun cooker.
All right,
drop
so
that
we're
sucker
going to have
in there.
like a wild game
$3.75
cookout show one day. That's what we're going to do.
You got me wanting to go to the house and just walk in the quail pen and just
wring some necks.
Slaughter.
Charlie be going through there.
So do you ever get the quail eggs?
What are you talking about?
The quail eggs.
You eat
they lay eggs.
them.
They lay eggs, yeah.
Do you ever harvest the eggs?
No.
You have like a quail egg omelet.
It's a delicacy.
There
You didn't take 27 of them to make an omelet. But
I know. That's the point is you'd have to go in there and pick up quail eggs everywhere.
Yeah, but it's easy for me to pick
all
up. I mean,
little finger.
I have a hard time bending over. You ought to see me in there trying to catch those suckers running around with a bass dip net. It's the same one Paul uses on his pontoon boat. And I run in there and I have to get on my hands and knees and catch them. I've developed the technique.
What I like better than watching him catch them is when he goes straight from the pen to over here and shows up with the quail poop in places that he didn't know was there. And he's walking around with quail doo.
You go in there in that 12 by 12 pen and there's birds flying everywhere and they crap on your hat and your shoulders and everything else. And it's it is that season.
I love the vision there. It just warms my heart.
We'll be right back. And we're back. I might have to. Yeah, it was recording.
It was on the video.
YouTube.
Oh no!
I can put that in the YouTube portion, the audio sound. But all that stuff you say on the breaks. Yeah, I can. I have a permanent record of it now. Mm-hmm. Just it will go on your permanent record.
So what you're saying, Charlie, is that you and I would never have to pay a defense attorney fee.
I was gonna say
ever. I can go out and rob a bank and I got a free attorney.
Just watching that revenue just come right out of my pocket.
The problem is that everything he says, he's saying in front of other people. It's just not certain people at certain times. So it'd have to be very selective. You'd have to go. You go. Okay. Well, I'm not going to just. I'm not. Your wife knows. She's the one that sent us the video the other day of him playing with that dadgum cup on the table. I get a text. This is Fred's wife. This is Fred's new Christmas gift or toy, and it's a video, and I'm like, I'm kind of scared to look. But I said, well, I don't know the number. It's not my phone, so it's not. He's not him.
I got that too. Was that what that was?
Yes.
I just deleted it because I was like, I don't want to. I don't want to know what this is.
Fred's wife. It was Fred's wife sending a video of Fred trying to put the ball in the cup.
I put the ball in the cup.
Oh, in the video, he got the ball in the cup with his little.
Yeah, and I didn't sleep. Shorts? I didn't sleep any that night.
Well, it was kind of warm, and so I put some shorts on. And
where is that dog going?
And I got this.
He just did it a while ago, right?
Balls up thing. Well, I was trying to do it in here, and the dog kept biting the ball. And you swing it between your legs, and you got to thrust, like really.
Yes. Once again, I probably won't sleep any tonight.
Your thrust. That's what it's for.
So she took that video of me, and then.
And your accuracy. That's your casting accuracy, Paul.
And I didn't think much of it. And then I see her over there, and she's going through my phone, getting y'all's contact information, and sending you that videotape. So.
Thank you, Fred's
That
wife.
was that was, but it was not only the fact that he was ringing the cup with the ball and swinging his hips and all that. It was also the I'm sending my wife a picture of a poached deer she wanted to see.
So I hope you ain't sending her that video.
she wanted to see that deer.
That's a nice deer.
Anyway, yeah, but it was the attire and the little chicken legs and all that stuff. And it was. Thank you, ma'am, for sending that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I apologize, Mrs. Conrad. I didn't recognize the number.
We'll resend it to you.
Oh no, I'm going to show it to you here in a little bit, but I'll wait till the break when Fred's telling his stories that are off the air. I'll have a second.
Did you get your wife something nice for Christmas?
Well, other than the full set of pots and pans, which are not a Christmas present, by the way, but she wanted. We've had the same cooking stuff since we were married. Just 23 years old, and she wanted some.
I bought my wife a set of pots and pans for Christmas.
Did you?
Too.
No, okay.
I couldn't say it on her. I was afraid she'd catch me, but because she didn't have a clue I was getting it. But I got some nice new cookware for us too, but for her.
Yes, I went to CVS.
Well, I got my wife some stuff I ain't gonna talk about on the air, but I don't normally buy stuff like that. But
they had stuff at CVS that was pre-wrapped, and just like Christmas presents.
just random.
I didn't know what
Didn't
it was.
know what it was. Just like mystery gifts.
I just went in there and bought it. Here's $100 and got like 10 presents. And
she got a pick comb and some gel.
She got a lava lamp.
Legs, pantyhose.
Yeah, she got one of those night lights that puts like stars and the moon on your ceiling. She didn't
I got
like
my
that.
grandkids one of those.
Yeah, well, I got it in the bedroom, and she's not very impressed.
Not what I thought you said. First off,
no, the night light.
Anyway, so
lava lamps in there too.
I didn't tell you what I got for Christmas, but it does pertain to the show. I got a Tacticam 6.0.
Yeah.
So it's this little cylindrical camera. So it's a cylindrical camera like a GoPro, except it's not much bigger diameter than a shotgun barrel, and you can get the shotgun adapter for it. So you clamp this camera to the bottom of your shotgun, or I've got an adapter or a holder coming for it, a mount for the Picatinny rail, so you can put it on the scope next to your scope on your rifle, and you can videotape your hunting without a lot of.
They got them for fishing too.
Yeah, without a lot of moving parts. And they've got a headband one that goes on your headband. So I will eventually get all the.
Pole?
Yeah, probably.
You put it on your net.
Yep.
Reaching out and grab. Mount a lot of different mounts for it. I'm getting one of them. They're really cool.
Well, I'll let you know but I got to get I'm waiting on my mounts to come in. I've got the camera now, but that was my Christmas gift, and I'm excited.
Yeah, it's pretty
and
exciting.
coming soon to a podcast near you. We'll be getting some JD camera footage, shooting birds and deer and whatever.
So I wonder if they make one that you could put on a fishing line that can actually show the fish.
That's what I'm waiting on.
They have them, Fred. They do for big game stuff. You can run a camera down your main line for marlin fishing or whatever, and you see the marlin come up behind the bait and strike the bait and all that. But it better, if your line breaks, there goes your camera.
So the wife got me a remote control boat for Christmas.
For the lake back behind the house?
Yeah, well, I was running it in the pool. This thing, it flies. It's fast. Mm-hmm. And you can press a button, it'll dive and go down.
Get out of here.
So I was thinking about mounting a lure in the back of it.
There you go.
Flying around the lake,
Till you get a 10-pounder on there and
then
it
it's
sinks your boat.
Then you got to go find the boat.
The other thing you could do is maybe use it to round up fish. Get them close to you. Think it'll work?
You don't need all that. All you need is that stuff Paul's got on his dadgum boat. I don't want to run around out of. How much time we got in this segment left?
Oh, about 4 minutes.
Okay, well let's get started on the conversation, Paul. I want to move on to Paul's stuff. So yesterday, and we've been talking on the show for a while, and Paul's been wanting to take CJ fishing, my son, my 11-year-old, and he'll be 12 next week. And so we finally found the right time and the day and all that. And Paul, I got to tell you, man, I appreciate it because I posted on Facebook. There's on my profile, and it'll be on there, the video of him catching that first big fish.
Yes.
It's the second fish he caught.
Man.
And, man, his reaction.
You see the excitement he had?
Man.
That's why I do it right there. That's it. If you can capture that, getting him out there and working with him on casting, you know what I mean? Because and watching how he got better. I haven't seen many kids that would stop. He stuck with it. That was impressive. He
like
could
all
be
day.
a very, very good fisherman.
I tell you what, to get him off video games and doing stuff and to know his level of patience with certain things, the boy's smart.
Absolutely.
But when he gets on something, he'll get bored with it. I sat there in the boat and watched you working with him, and the level of patience that you exercised and the attention span that he was showing. I was sitting there and I was watching something that makes me proud and grateful. And thank you so much. And as the day went on, he started to get a little bit more confidence. I mean,
absolutely.
He's got a lot to learn and got a lot of technique to develop, and so do I. I'm sitting there trying to, I'd caught a few fish but I had the best time just watching. And what impressed me was the way. Because, you go fishing, and it's the reason I don't fish a lot. You go fishing and you spend all day fishing, and you might not catch nothing.
Right.
And I don't know if there's fish over here, fish over there, but to look, and I'll post the pictures, watching the marriage of technology and your experience and your knowledge of the area, and then the level of patience that you have to work with that boy, and then to find the fish on that radar, and then watch the bait hit, and then watch it drop, and then you're talking about, okay, close your bail now, reel a little faster, and put that bait right into that school of fish, and then him catch one. It's just amazing to me.
Right. And
it flipped the switch in him, and now that's cool to him.
That's right. That's what I was after, is that.
So what all did y'all catch?
Crappie.
A whole bunch of them.
Any stripers or bass?
Didn't even focus on them. Focused on crappie.
Did you keep some?
Yeah, I got I'll show you a picture.
I was looking for it. I can't get it on the internet here.
It's on my Facebook page.
Yeah,
well, we try to block some of your traffic in here on the phone. We don't. There are certain things that Robert doesn't allow to happen.
That's probably why my computer's messed up in there. I've been fighting my computer all day.
Yeah, Fred, we can't just let you have free reign in here.
I was wondering.
There'll be somebody in here wanting with a search warrant. Hey, we'll be back in just a minute. We'll talk about this.
Hurry, that's a big one. Oh my God, look at that thing.
Look at the size of that, buddy.
Look at the size of that.
Holy cow.
Oh my gosh. CJ, look. Praise the Lord, bless you, Jesus. Look at that. CJ.
Now that's a personal record.
That's what I'm talking about. We're going to delete that other picture. Look, CJ. How'd you do that now? Tell me what you did. What was you doing?
It was just over there, and
how'd you do
felt
that,
something, and it was there. Whenever I was pulling it back in, it just bit.
Oh,
that was the one that was over
giant.
there. That was the one that we saw over there.
Yeah. Look at the size of that fish. You got a leaf on him.
And we're back. So yeah, watching that boy get better, like we were saying on the break, it was just amazing.
Kids' brains are really pliable. They learn fast. I've noticed with my girls and teaching them stuff, they just pick it up fast if you present it the right way and take your time with it. And
the thing is you can take a kid like that out and they catch nothing all day.
Yeah,
and then they're like, I don't want to.
Don't do that no more.
I don't want to go. But you get them on a day like that to where they catch.
And that was so we start off the morning. It was very slow. Remember that?
Yeah.
I kept saying all the fish on the bottom. Remember, we was going down. and there was hundreds, maybe 1,000 seagulls sitting on the water. There was no wind. I said, y'all see that? The fish are going to be on, and wasn't they? They were on the bottom. And it took going into the day that wind to pick up. Then they started rising.
They were dragging that jig head along the bottom down there, and then you could see the fish sort of come up, but not dragging it, but reeling along the bottom just above it. You could see the fish kind of come up, look at it, and go right back down again and just totally ignore it. You put the bait right next to a fish in the water, and they just completely ignore it. It just wasn't time.
What's the significance of the seagulls?
They eat shad.
So if you see seagulls, you know there's fish under there?
Well, here's what happens. You have three types of fish eaters out there. Seagulls, cormorants, and loons.
What about me?
And you.
Okay.
Now, the seagulls don't go underneath the water. When a cormorant will go under the water and push the shad up, and for a cormorant to swallow, once they grab one in their beak, they have to come to the surface and flip it upside, and it goes heads first. Then the seagull comes and grabs it out of their mouth. That's what's going on. Huh. A loon, I actually watched this the other day. I was using my live sonar, and I was looking at a loon. It went under the water, and I watched it go to the bottom in 24 foot of water and went 50 foot on the bottom like a bulldozer.
Really?
Then came back up, watched it come back up. That was cool. That was amazing. Yes. Went straight to the bottom.
There are species of diver ducks. I want
to see some canvasbacks. I want to see some of that now. That'd be neat.
You got canvasbacks and redheads, ringnecks, and scaup bluebills. The divers that we get that's most of our duck population around here. There have been instances of ringnecks being caught in fishermen's net 35 foot deep.
Really?
35, 40 foot deep.
It's more in an atmosphere of...
Yes, it was three atmospheres. But yeah, so 30, 35, 40 feet deep. They're feeding on mollusk, little clams and snails and whatnot off the bottom. That's what they feed on, and they'll dive down.
All right, so one atmosphere is 33 feet, and that will take what if you take a ball that has 10 square feet of air in it, and you put it down one atmosphere, you got 5.
Yeah.
How does a bird like that
I don't know.
Adjust to that kind of pressure?
Have to ask God about that. I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
Yeah, I watched that loon do it. That was 2 or 3 times. That's amazing.
It's scuba diving, like you said. The 33 feet is actually the most dangerous column of water because of that immediate compression, biggest amount of compression. But they're able to go down well below that and feed. And those loons are, we get them down here in the wintertime. They're cool. They're beautiful birds if you ever see one up close. But most people don't know we have them down here because they're associated with up north.
Yep. They have a unique sound they make too. Very unique.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That on Golden Pond.
Yeah.
Well, as the day went on, the wind picked up.
Yeah.
Which made it more comfortable because it was cold in the morning, but then it started to get a little warm.
Yeah.
And then when the wind picked up, the fish came up off the bottom.
That's right.
And all of a sudden,
then it was catching them.
Yeah, and and I'll post a picture on the
video.
That thing up there. And but Fred, this is what.
So what do you think the biggest one you got was?
That's the.
That's the thing.
Yeah, so those are the fish off the bottom like that.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy. There were some that had hundreds in a school.
So tell me about that lure again. It's a jig.
Just an 1/8 ounce.
Yeah,
1/8 ounce jig head.
Look how big that crappie is. That youngin caught.
That's a big fish.
That's a big one. But anyway, 1/8 ounce jig. It's a little plastic minnow type jig bait we're throwing. You just thread it on the jig.
Are you using the little Bass Assassin? The little
actually, it's like a Bass Assassin, but it's a lot shorter. It's just got a straight tail.
Straight tail.
It's Baby Shad by Bobby Garland. That's exactly what it is.
Baby Shad by Bobby Garland.
That's who makes it.
All right, I'm going to get on that.
Very good bait. 6 Cents makes some ones that are very good too. They're actually little they got feathers on them, like a hair jig, and those work good too. We didn't use those yesterday because we wanted to sink fast.
So you how deep were you catching them?
Anywhere from 10 to 15 foot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what makes crappie fishing and the crappie fishing,
crappie.
speck fishing, sockeye, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
The fish with many names. Yeah, speckled perch.
Yeah.
this time of year when they get schooled up and really congregated into one area, they'll usually hang around some structure of some kind of treetop or something like that, or sometimes they'll just bunch up in a hole.
That's what these were doing, JD. They were roaming in the river channel. About 3 weeks ago, they moved off structure. You look at them and there'll be like a Christmas tree on a treetop or something. These fish are moved out and they're roaming because they're starting to pair up and getting ready to think about spawning.
But this time of year, they get a lot easier to catch because they're all in big bunches, big groups like that.
That's right.
I got to go get me some of those.
Yeah, Charlie called me after the fishing trip or while we were on. He goes, "Yeah, I'm sitting here watching Paul with this. What do you call this cheating machine? This cheating machine."
But hey, every fish don't bite, do they?
No, I mean,
just because you know where they're at, don't mean
he was bumping bait off their noses in school, and they're like, "I don't want that. I don't want that. That's not what I'm
It's amazing
for.
though what little bit of a condition change or time of the day or is something.
Right there, JD. I talked to 2 people that fished yesterday. Mr. Greg Jeter and Bill Allen. They were bass fishing. They did not get a bite till after 12:30.
Yeah.
No.
That's when everything
this cold
changed.
snap today is going to do?
Oh, they're biting right now.
Waiting
I'm
on
going to talk to somebody.
12:30.
Bass are biting this morning.
But y'all waiting on 12:30. We're gonna have a good time.
Not saying you couldn't catch fish somewhere, but that's in general. That's
I've
what
seen it.
on.
You know, we if you spend enough time outdoors, and we've talked about it on this show numerous times about the sun and the moon and the time of the day and the light conditions and the barometric pressure. And you know, if somebody ever truly figures all of those relationships out with wildlife, it's going to be amazing. But it all makes a difference, and the truly only way to figure it out is just to spend time on the water, spend time in the woods. And I've talked about my trophy squirrel that I have up there. And
are you still hunting that thing? I
hadn't been hunting, man. I just been doing too much other things. But I take pictures of him every day. He comes out same place, same time every day, or not same time every day, same food plot every day to eat. Sometimes it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it's 11, sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's just before dark. But he's going to be there and get something to eat out of that food plot just about every day. Now,
you should domesticate that squirrel.
It's the coolest looking squirrel I've ever seen, and I don't know, man. I'd really like to preserve him for posterity because he's so cool looking by getting him taxidermied. But unfortunately, you got to end his career by doing that. So, but it's neat to look at. I'm like, well, started to get like I just got a picture a few minutes ago while we're sitting here, and I knew exactly who it was because it's in the middle of the day in this one food plot, and I can guarantee you, I didn't even look at it, but I guarantee you it's him.
Take you a really good camera up there. I know your wife's probably got one, and get you a good picture of it, and then let's get one of these things made. You can frame it.
Yeah,
down here, and then
that's what you
go.
Then you don't have to kill him.
I've got great.
You got a name for him, or
no?
Yeah.
Now, if he was going to eat him, I'd say it's different.
Yeah, and I'm
but
not.
You want to taxidermy him, so
I accidentally killed. I accidentally killed 2 fox squirrels when I was a kid, and it was a bad windy day, and I'm hunting out in some pine trees, and I look up in the very top of the pine tree, and I see a squirrel's tail, and I had my little 20 gauge single shot, and I shot up there to shoot the squirrel out, thinking it was a cat squirrel because I was squirrel hunting, and 2 big fox squirrels fell out of the top of that pine tree, and I was like, I thought I was going to be in trouble, but Mama didn't. Nobody fussed at me about it. But I cleaned them, and we tried to eat them. And normally, the way she cooked squirrels was just basically to soak them a little bit in some buttermilk and fry them.
That's where
you can't eat no fox squirrel that way.
I wouldn't imagine.
It's tough as shoe leather.
Yeah.
It's like trying to eat shoe leather. I've never since that day. I've never intentionally or never killed another one since then. It's just because it wasn't edible, and to us, they say you can boil it and do all this other stuff, and they're much bigger. I mean, 1 fox squirrel that's a lot.
I
of meat.
like having them around. I just think
they're cool as heck, and and they're protected. They're protected in Florida. They're not in Georgia. There's a season on them in Georgia. So.
Hey, Paul, if somebody wants to do what we did, how do they get in contact with you?
Man, they can give me a call at 850-264-7534, or they can reach out to me on Facebook, Captain Paul Tire Fishing.
Fred, if somebody has a drastic turn of events and just has no better choice, how do they get in contact with you if they need an attorney?
Well, they can call the office at 850-222-4005, or they can reach me on the internet at fred@fredconrad.com.
Okay. And if anybody needs to reach JD, his cell phone number
BR549. That's all you need to know.
All right. It's a great show, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.